It's wonderful, it's marvelous that you should care for me. Softful nights, it's paradise, it's what I love to see. You've made my life so glamorous. You can't blame me for feeling amorous. Oh, it's wonderful, marvelous that you should care for me.
You know, that's what happens in a lot of these downtown areas. You know, the downtowns were booming up through the early 70s, and then, you know, we had that urban sprawl, and they started, you know, doing strip centers and you know, creating out in the townships residential areas that people just kind of moved out away from the city. But I think you're going to see over the next 15, 20 years, it's a reversal. And it started happening 5 or 6 years ago. People want to come back to the downtown and reconnect with their downtown. I mean, if you think about this, when you're working in your office space, you come out of your office, get into your parking garage, into your vehicle, drive out onto the freeway, go to suburbia, USA, anywhere, and you pull into your neighborhood, press a garage door opener, and the garage door goes up, the car goes in, it goes down. You either get on the computer, the television, or whatever. I mean, people they're not connected with their neighborhoods like we were when we were kids. Heck, when I was a kid, I knew who lived 2 blocks this way and 2 blocks this way. Now, out in suburbia, they don't know their neighbor 2 doors down in either direction. And it's that disconnect. And I think people want to come back and reconnect with how things used to be. You know, the Hotel Onesto lended more historic fabric than any other available building downtown, and we just thought it was a good opportunity to. And it was a big. The Onesto had a large enough scale that it made sense. And I mean, if we were going to do this, there's going to be the little boutique places that are going to have, you know, 4, 8, and 10 units. But we needed to really make a statement to say, look, downtown's coming back, and this is what we're going to do. And I mean, this Hotel Onesto sat empty for 35 years. Everybody drives by and knows where it's at. It's right here in the heart of our historic district. It just made sense for this building to be the one.
In 1907, while walking through downtown Canton, a 15-year-old Francis Onesto noticed a sign for porter wanted at the Delmont Hotel and Restaurant. He went in, asked for the job, and started working for 50 cents a day. He worked before and after school, learning everything he could about the business. By 1910, already manager, Frank decided to purchase the Delmont, becoming the owner at the young age of 18. Throughout the next 2 decades, Frank dreamt of something much bigger for the corner of 2nd Street and Cleveland Avenue, and in 1929, the Delmont was torn down to make way for the now historic 12-story hotel, aptly named the Hotel Onesto. No expenses were spared during the construction of the Hotel Onesto. The main lobby features travertine marble staircases, travertine terrazzo flooring, American walnut wood trim, Italian Renaissance ornamental relief ceiling panels, and a stunning crystal chandelier. All 200 rooms nestled within the top 12 floors were equipped with Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses, oscillating fans, circulating ice water, hand-type telephones, and an RCA radio. This seemingly ancient technology by today's standards was the talk of the town in 1930 and put the Hotel Onesto in the forefront of luxury hotels. If you could afford to stay in the Hotel Onesto, it would cost you $3.50 for a room with a single bed, $4.50 for a double, or $6 for twin beds.
You know, they had built-in radios in every room, and the rooms weren't very big. They're really no bigger than what a walk-in closet would be now, and you know, in today's standards of a house. But back then, that was, you know, you had 1 and 2 beds, and you had a little tiny dresser in your bathroom, and that was really it. The radios are, I mean, back then, you know, nobody had portable radios like they do now, so it was all built in, and the big giant box, and I think you got 6 stations, and everybody had their own private radio, which was like a big deal back then. We actually found a box of these. It says Onesto Hotel, Canton, Ohio, and it says here on the back, Hall 7. And what they would do is they would connect the keys to these, and you would know where you were at.
We've got a reservations pad here. Where was all this found?
All throughout the floors. We got into some doors that I think were closed probably in the early 70s. And never opened until we got in there, so it was kind of cool to go in there and find things like this. But we've got receipts where coffee was 10 cents a cup, and you could go and get eggs and bacon for 49 cents. I mean, it was great. But you get, you know, single person and twin bed room rates per day and checkout times at 4 o'clock. Here what I've got in my hand is a card holder, and they're sterling silver, and what they do is they'd set them on the table, and then whatever event, they would slip the card
Like a
on here
name?
and set it on the table, whether it's the name or the table number. And actually, we've got a bunch of these. It says here on the bottom, you can see here, it's Hotel Onesto.
Wow.
Yeah, let me turn it around here. There we go, Hotel Onesto.
What a dreamer you are. This is an enormous, enormous task you're taking on. When did it begin?
4 years ago, we secured the property from the Stark Community Foundation, and I made a deal with them to buy the building, and they accepted, and we got the property. Then we went with trying to get the asbestos out of here and securing a fund through the Ohio, it's the Ohio Clean Air Fund. We got $1 million from them to take all the asbestos out of the building, and it took about a year, but all the asbestos is out now, and I'm just waiting for my no further action letter, and then we'll be ready to get started.
Take me through a floor-by-floor idea of what we're going to do. Now, we're restoring all of this to be the lobby, and then we're going up to the second floor, which is going to have some retail space.
That's where the old barber shop was at, and we've still got the old barber's chairs that are all porcelain and very colorful, and I mean, it's a really cool space. This area here, yes, this is the lobby here, but we've got retail on both ends that we'll be able to market for retail and still keep the historic fabric of the grand lobby. Of course, you have the crystal chandelier, and then going down the steps onto the main level, that'll be retail on both sides. And then we've got our basement, which about a quarter of that's going to be storage, and the other 3/4 is going to be all retail. This was their basement area, but you've got still the brass railings, and then you've got the marble stairwell, and it's spiraling down.
Wow.
Look down, I mean, there's rooms all back through here, back through there. I mean, all but we're gonna remove these tanks, the boiler tanks, and the whole system will remove, and this will be nice retail space. I mean, it's like a big vault or dungeon area down there. It's but really high ceilings, and I could see a cool little jazz bar or something down there even.
The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, no, they can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beams, the way you sing all.
So tell me about your favorite things here in the lobby. Let's start in the lobby.
Well, you know what? When you walk into the building, I mean, you know, the turnstile doors out front, they're in perfect condition. We're going to redo all the brass, but I mean, all the pieces and parts are there. We're going to have that turnstile operating again, and it's from 1928. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's not a straight turnstile, it's actually curved. And in this building, there's a lot of curves. And I mean, this building, you couldn't replicate this building today. If they built this building, it would somewhat look like it today, but it would be a lot of squares. They wouldn't, curved and round pieces cost a lot of money, and they just wouldn't do it like that today. When you come up the steps, I mean, it's the terrazzo floors, and we've got marble wainscot and marble benches and walls. Again, it just wouldn't be cost effective to do something like that today. You look at the plaster work that we've got here. These are the domed ceilings. You've got Bacchus on 4 places on every dome, and I mean, it's really gorgeous. You know, I had a guy tell me when I bought the building, boy, he said, you bought the building, but it's going to cost $1 million just to restore all the plaster there. And I looked at it and pointed out to him, you know, the plaster is really in just about perfect condition. It's just all the paint's peeled off of it. Well, I'm going to remove all the paint anyhow. So I mean, this building, it's old. It's you know, been vacant for 35 years, but actually it's been preserved fairly well. And so we've got a lot of historic fabric to work with. This was a large room. What they would have is a couple of small beds, one here and one here. This was a 2-bedroom unit.
There's that built-in radio
And
that
was-
every room
That was a
had.
big deal back then.
Aha.
We don't think anything of it now, but
No.
I mean, to have a hotel with a radio in it, it was a big deal.
Back in 1930, sure.
And this next room's a cool room too. Remember when these are all terrazzo floors. Notice besides being the floors been cleaned up, there's not a crack on them. I mean,
So they've lasted the heat, the cold, the neglect, the abuse. And I guess that's why terrazzo is as expensive as it is.
well, it's bulletproof though. It'll last thousands of years. This here, we laid sheeting down on the bottom floor here just to protect the little mosaic tiles. But
Those little black and white things?
yeah, see the tile floors here? We didn't want any of that to get destroyed. We're going
And
to
you're
keep
gonna
all
keep
this.
that.
And of course, these are the marble stalls and the porcelain tile.
And this was obviously the men's room?
Actually, there were little signs here that said toilets 10 cents. You had to
Oh,
pay 10
how
cents to
funny.
use them. These are the porcelain handles I was talking about. Look how nice this is.
And they lasted all these years.
And they're all porcelain. I mean, look how thick they are.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all porcelain tile here.
Wow.
And then even the sinks are porcelain. See how it's the pedestal sinks? Actually, these are really making a comeback.
So now we're on the second floor and we're dividing that up into,
We'll have 4 units per floor, 1 and 2 bedroom units. What we're gonna do is when you come out of the lobby, or out of the elevators into that lobby, we're gonna keep all that. That'll all be existing. And I'll show you when we go upstairs, I'll point out to where we'll put in brand new doors where the units are going to be, but all the existing doors we're keeping. And these existing doors all have the room number on them from back in 1928. And it's pretty cool. So when you walk in, it'll kind of look like the hotel lobby, but yet, you know, it's they'll be glued, nailed shut, and drywall over on the inside. But from the outside, it'll keep that historic fabric of the original Onesto. You can see a 1-bedroom unit here to the northwest, and the way that it wraps around the stairwell, and then faces Cleveland Avenue. And you've got a 2-bedroom unit here, a little over 1,000 square feet, and that'll face the west and part of the south. And then here's a 1-bedroom unit here, strictly facing the west side, and that would overlook the skating rink.
What floor are we on?
They're all typical, so it would be from the 2nd to probably the 9th floor. 10, 11, and 12, we're gonna do 2,000 square foot units, so there'll be 2 residents per floor, and then from 9 on down, there'll be 4 residents per floor. We had looked at the windows here, and we could actually put windows in, brand new windows in, cheaper than restoring the existing, but it's not gonna be the same, and we're not gonna put in new windows. We are gonna restore all the existing windows, and they'll be just like they were new. And, look at the hand-carved wood inside of the windows. It's just, it's all kind of covered up right now because it's either dirty or painted. But once you expose all that, it's like, wow. And it really gives you a sense of place to see, all the historic fabric that, you just wouldn't see in a building like this today. See here again, look at all this crown mold.
None of that stuff is cheap. So is
In
that all
fact-
going to be salvaged?
Here's a fireplace here, look at this.
Wow. So we're basically up in the penthouse.
Yeah, this is the top suite. A little fireplace. Here's a nice view of downtown. Looking to the south, down Cleveland Avenue, and you can see the Federal Building and the church. The modern kitchen here. The old KitchenAid.
Oh my God, how cool.
And that was probably updated in the early 60s. Isn't that cool? It's a
Wow.
dishwasher.
Like, did anyone even use that? Wow.
Wait, it sure doesn't look used, does it?
No. Wow.
Kind of hides it. And,
No fuss, no muss. Doesn't look used
I mean,
either.
you know what? It really doesn't.
Wow, that would be like a collector's. Look how pretty. What color is that? Pink? That is awesome.
And you can see the old lights here. And they have the old sinks here. We kept all that. We came in and we took all this out before they started with the abatement because we didn't want the abatement contractors to come in and destroy everything.
Right.
So we went in and took everything out with intentions of bringing it all back.
But think about the hotels today. You know, your average hotel, they don't have barber shops in them.
Yeah, well, this one will.
Oh, how cool.
And then we even kept the porcelain barber chairs. When I was in New York City, we've got the chandelier behind me here. And, it hangs up in the air, and it's a fairly large chandelier. And I was at a historic restoration show, and there was a chandelier company there, and it was a large chandelier company from New York City. And I told him, I said, I'm from Canton, Ohio. I've got a chandelier that I want to ask some questions. Right away, he said, you bought the Onesto Hotel. And I was amazed that he's in New York City. He knows that, this chandelier I was talking about was in the Onesto. He says, I know where all the chandeliers are at, throughout the United States, and I know that one. Would you like to sell it? And I said, I really don't think I'm interested. And he kind of pressed me, and I really don't think I'm interested. But I was intrigued, so I walked away. 2 days later, he ran into me again and said, I've got a great deal for you. I'll give you $100,000 for your chandelier. I'm thinking, $100,000, that's what I paid for the building, just for this chandelier. And I said, you know what, I can't do it. He says, I'll replace it with a chandelier that looks just like it and still give you $100,000. And I didn't even really think about it. It was just kind of a cool story to tell, but I told him no. And I just, again, it's important to keep that historic fabric in this building. Everything belongs here, so I don't think I would cannibalize anything and take it out.
down here. It's so much fun. I love the atmosphere.
This is exactly what I've been talking about. Look at the crowds here.
That's right. And
Build
everybody-
it and they will come.
That's right. That's right. It's
the best.
wonderful down here. The parade just went by with all the kids and the lights. There's just so much excitement, so much going on. It is absolutely wonderful.
It's a walkable downtown.
Yes.
How you doing?
Food, good company, good people. Right. Very good.
Great.
Thank you.
You know, some folk claim the sister will do, mother is gone. Some folk claim that sister will do when your mother is gone. Some folk claim that sister will do, but if she marries, she'll turn her back on you. Cause the child have a hard time when the mother is gone.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Our time has come. You know, if we tried to do this 15 or 20 years ago in downtown Canton, it wouldn't work. The timing wasn't right then. But the time is now. And I get, here's an opportunity to be a part of a downtown, a neighborhood, the new thing. And this is the new thing. And I think it's a great opportunity for everybody.